My beloved child, before you hear what heaven has revealed, pause right here and subscribe, because this message is not the kind that finds just anyone. This kind of revelation only appears to the one soul whose heart is connected deeply to the destiny of someone they love. And before I tell you what Archangel Michael just showed, let me ask you a question that will make your spirit tremble. Have you ever sensed that your daughter is carrying something silently, something she hasn't spoken about? Something she thought she could handle alone, but her spirit keeps leaking signals you cannot explain, little changes in her tone, little hesitations in her words, little storms in her eyes that she hides behind forced smiles. And have you ever wondered why your heart suddenly tenses when she walks into a room, why your intuition whispers that something is shifting underneath her life, something that could influence her path, her relationships, even her future marriage, and why today, of all days, you felt pulled to open this message, at this minute, at this exact heartbeat, as if heaven grabbed your hand and said, "This is the moment, do not look away." And now listen as Archangel Michael moves closer with wings wide, his presence heavy with urgency but filled with love, and he says, "Your daughter has been carrying an emotional truth that she has not fully understood yet, not a scandal, not a betrayal, not a dark secret, but a misunderstanding, an emotional wound, that, if left unspoken, could create unnecessary distance between her and someone who deeply cares for her." And Michael shows you a symbolic vision where your daughter stands in a narrow hallway of mirrors, each mirror reflecting a version of herself shaped by past conversations, unspoken fears, misunderstood intentions, and pressures she never learned how to express. And in this maze of reflections she holds a small glowing orb. This orb represents her self-worth, her emotional truth, her voice, and yet she keeps dimming it, hiding it, weakening it, because she feels that speaking openly may create conflict she is not ready to face. And Jesus steps forward and says, "This is not about shame, this is about clarity." And suddenly the hallway shifts into a massive open sky where all illusions dissolve, revealing the symbolic misunderstanding that could create unnecessary friction in her relationship or marriage, not because she did something wrong, but because she withheld a truth out of fear of hurting someone else. And heaven shows you that someone close to your daughter misinterpreted her silence as distance, misunderstanding her quietness as disinterest, reading her stress as coldness, creating a symbolic emotional knot that could grow into tension if not untangled soon. And Archangel Michael whispers, "This is why heaven brought you here, because you are the bridge. Your intuition is the anchor that will help her find her emotional voice before confusion shapes her future." And the skies open into a cosmic chamber where your daughter's spirit sits, trembling softly, wanting to speak but not knowing how, wanting to explain but not knowing where to begin, wanting to protect her reputation, her dignity, her relationships, but also terrified of being misunderstood. And Jesus places his hand over her heart in the vision and says, "Her truth is beautiful, but she needs someone who can hear it without judgment. And that someone is you, because heaven has given you the gift of emotional discernment, the ability to sense what your daughter cannot yet express." And Michael reveals the symbolic 24-hour deadline, not a threat, not danger, but the moment where emotional energy peaks, the point where misunderstanding becomes heavier and clarity becomes necessary, the window where a gentle conversation can transform everything and prevent assumptions from shaping her path. And heaven shows you the symbolic scenario that could become a social disaster, not public exposure, not shame, not rumors, but the emotional pain that happens when someone she loves assumes something she never intended to communicate. and heaven is asking you to step in as the calm voice that helps untangle this knot, the voice that listens without pressure, the voice that guides without judgment, because your daughter is not hiding a scandal, she is hiding her confusion, her emotional exhaustion, her fear of disappointing people who love her, and Michael whispers, the only thing at risk is her peace, not her reputation, and Jesus adds, and the only thing she needs is understanding, not protection from enemies, and suddenly the realm fills with golden light as heaven reveals the truth. There is no disaster coming, there is only a conversation waiting, there is no exposure coming, there is only clarity forming, there is no danger coming, there is only transformation unfolding. And the final warning from the loved one in heaven is not a threat, it is a gentle push for you to reach out, check on her heart, ask the question she has been too afraid to answer, are you okay? Tell me what's weighing on you, and heaven promises that your presence, your warmth, your patience, your listening ear will prevent the emotional miscommunication that could affect her future. And as the vision closes, Jesus says, you were chosen to help her untangle what she cannot understand alone, and Archangel Michael seals the message with wings of protection around your daughter, whispering, your support will protect her forevermore. And now, my beloved child, if this message reached a deep place inside you, if you felt heaven touching your intuition, if you felt your spirit shake as this truth poured out, remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you never miss these divine revelations, and share this message with 10 souls who need emotional clarity in their families. And if you feel led to support this mission with a super thanks of $100, let it come from love, not pressure. It helps keep these messages alive for every spirit walking through confusion. And if you want Part 2, just say, next part continue. My beloved child, the moment you opened Part 2, heaven shifted its weight around you, the atmosphere tightened, and Archangel Michael stepped forward with a seriousness that made every angel fall silent, because what is coming next is not a threat, not a disaster, but a revelation your spirit has been preparing to receive for months. And before I reveal it, God asks you one more piercing question. Have you noticed how your daughter's smile lately looks like a mask she carefully places on her face? How her voice sometimes sounds slightly delayed as if her heart is thinking faster than her words? How she pauses before speaking when someone asks about her relationship or marriage? How she tries to appear strong but her eyes betray a truth she hasn't found the courage to speak? And have you wondered why you, out of all the people she loves, can feel her emotional weight even when she doesn't say a single word? And why today, at this exact divine minute, your soul was pulled into this message as if heaven physically took your hand and said, sit down. Breathe. It is time for the truth, and as you listen, Michael reveals a symbolic vision showing your daughter standing at the center of a circular room, 4 doors surrounding her, each representing a different emotional choice she must face. One door labeled silence, another labeled fear, another labeled duty, and the last labeled truth, and she keeps pacing between the first 3 because she is afraid the 4th, the door of truth, will change something in the relationship she cares about. But Michael leans close and whispers, truth does not break relationships, confusion does, and suddenly the room shifts, and you see a symbolic moment where someone close to her misunderstood her quietness as distance, her hesitation as rejection, her polite words as coldness, creating a subtle emotional ripple that, if left unresolved, could grow into avoidable tension. And Jesus shows you the scene from above. No fight, no betrayal, no dramatic wrongdoing, just 2 hearts misreading each other, 2 souls Wanting closeness but afraid to speak honestly, two people carrying tiny assumptions that could blossom into unnecessary conflict, and in the vision heaven reveals that your daughter is not hiding a dark secret, she is hiding her vulnerability, because she fears that if she expresses what she truly feels, her stress, her concerns, her confusion, she might be judged, misunderstood, or seen as emotionally weak, and God says, "But she is not weak, she is overwhelmed, and the loved one in heaven steps forward, glowing with gentleness, and whispers, 'Child, help her untangle the emotion before it becomes a knot,' and the entire celestial chamber brightens as the loved one shows you your daughter sitting on the edge of her bed late at night, hands clasped, staring at the floor, thinking about a moment that hurt her feelings but she brushed aside thinking it was too small to mention, not realizing that the tiny unspoken hurt added pressure to her heart, creating a symbolic cloud around her. Emotional clarity, but before she could speak about it, she convinced herself that staying silent would keep the peace, unaware that silence was weakening her inner trust, not trust in others, but trust in herself, and Archangel Michael gently places his hand on your shoulder in the vision and says, "Your daughter is at the edge of understanding her own emotions, but she needs a voice who sees without judging, who hears without reacting, who understands without assuming, and that voice is you." And the skies burst open with radiant waves of light as heaven reveals the symbolic, 24-hour window, not a countdown to danger, but a window of emotional alignment where your daughter's guarded heart becomes more open to being approached, more willing to express herself, more ready to confess what she has been overthinking, and this window, if used with sensitivity, will dissolve the misunderstanding that could indirectly affect her relationship or marriage, not because the truth is harmful, but because misunderstanding is, and Jesus whispers with warmth, her reputation is not at risk, her peace is, and the loved one in heaven adds, she does not need judgment, she needs guidance, and suddenly the chamber transforms into a heavenly council where angels bring forward symbolic scrolls representing your daughter's emotional patterns, her fear of conflict, her habit of overthinking, her desire to keep everyone happy even at her own expense, her tendency to protect others from her true feelings, and God shows you that she isn't struggling because of a mistake, she is struggling because she carries a love so deep she doesn't want her truth to hurt anyone, and heaven reveals the symbolic secret that is about to be exposed, not a scandal but the emotion behind her silence, not something shameful but something human, not something destructive but something she needs help understanding, and God says, "Your role is not to fix her life, your role is to open her heart," and the next scene shows your daughter receiving a message, a call, a question from you, a simple check-in, and how that small moment becomes the turning point that helps her share what she's been holding inside, and Archangel Michael raises his sword and declares, this is the protection she needs, not shields, not warnings, not fear, but connection, and as the vision fades, heaven seals the message with divine certainty. Her life will not fall apart. It will fall into place the moment her truth is heard. And now, my beloved child, if this message reached a deep part of your intuition, if you felt your spirit shake at the thought of your daughter's unspoken emotions, remember to subscribe, like, and comment so heaven knows you heard this message, and share this message with 10 people who need clarity in their families. And if you feel led to support this mission with a super thanks of $100, let it come from gratitude, not pressure, to keep these divine messages alive for every heart walking through emotional storms. And if you want part 3, just say, next part continue. My beloved child, The very instant you opened part 3, the atmosphere in the heavenly realm shifted again, becoming heavier, brighter, and sharper, as if all of heaven leaned closer at once, because what you are about to hear now is not merely a continuation. It is the moment where clarity, truth, and emotional awakening collide, and before the revelation begins, God asks you a question that shakes the soul. Have you ever noticed that your daughter avoids certain conversations not because she is hiding something but because she fears the emotional wave that honesty might unleash? And have you sensed, deep inside your chest, that she has been rehearsing words she never says out loud, conversations she imagines but never completes, explanations she forms in her mind but swallows before they meet the air? And do you understand why heaven pulled your spirit into this message today and not tomorrow? Why heaven refused to wait even a single hour? Why your intuition kept whispering that something needed your attention urgently, that someone needed your emotional presence, that your daughter's inner world was reaching a symbolic tipping point where unspoken truths become heavier than spoken ones? And as these questions press against your heart, Archangel Michael appears again, wings stretched like a storm of light behind him, his eyes filled with a fierce compassion that glows like molten gold, and he says, "Now you will witness the real reason your daughter's emotional world has been trembling beneath the surface." And suddenly the heavenly realm opens into a vast cathedral made of shimmering light, and in the center stands a massive crystalline sphere showing a symbolic vision of your daughter's heart, where delicate threads of emotional energy stretch outward, threads connecting her to people she trusts, people she loves, people who influence her thoughts, and one thread is glowing brighter than all the others, pulsing with a strange mixture of loyalty, fear, pressure, and confusion. And God explains that this particular thread represents a person in her life who misunderstands her silence, a person who interprets her quietness as withdrawal, who misreads her emotional pauses as rejection, who sees her polite boundaries as coldness, creating a symbolic storm of assumptions that swirl around her like invisible wind. And your daughter, unable to balance her desire to be understood with her fear of conflict, keeps shrinking herself emotionally to keep the peace, not realizing that shrinking herself is exactly what is creating emotional distance in her closest relationship. And Jesus steps forward, his voice softer than a whisper but more powerful than thunder, and says, "She is not losing love, she is losing clarity." And the vision shifts to show your daughter walking through a symbolic garden at dusk, flowers wilting around her not because she destroyed them but because she forgot to water her own truth, forgot to express what hurt her, forgot to confess what confused her, forgot to share the emotional weight she has been carrying alone. And now the garden of her relationships is signaling to heaven, she needs support before confusion becomes disconnection. And Michael raises his sword and slices through the air, revealing another vision, your daughter sitting at a table with someone she deeply respects, her hands clasped tightly, her voice trembling as she tries to hide a bruise on her spirit that no one can see, a bruise caused not by betrayal or wrongdoing but by an emotional misunderstanding she keeps replaying in her mind, afraid it will affect her future, her marriage, her peace. And heaven shows you that the misunderstanding is small, but the silence around it is huge, and if it remains unspoken, it could grow into unnecessary emotional distance that affects both hearts involved. And the loved one in heaven appears again, glowing with a soft golden light that feels like home, whispering, "She is not in danger, she is in confusion." And God expands the vision to show the symbolic, social disaster your title warned about, not gossip, not exposure, not scandal, but the emotional collapse that happens when someone's intentions are misunderstood, when someone's feelings are misread, when someone's fears are unseen, when silence becomes louder than truth, and this symbolic disaster is simply this. The relationship she cares about could experience tension because neither person knows how deeply the other is overthinking, and heaven brought you into this moment because your daughter's heart trusts you more than she trusts her ability to articulate the truth, and your guidance will help her speak before assumptions replace understanding. And as the cosmic chamber intensifies with swirling light, Michael says with unwavering authority, the next 24 hours are a symbolic alignment. Her heart will be more open to comfort, more ready to express, more willing to untangle her emotions, and Jesus adds, not because something bad will happen, but because her spirit cannot carry this weight much longer. And now the heavens show you a breathtaking moment from her future, your daughter laughing freely, shoulders light, eyes glowing, because someone finally gave her permission to speak, someone finally asked her the right question, someone finally held space for her truth, and that someone was you. And God seals this part of the revelation with thunderless certainty: her life is not falling apart, her truth is falling into place, and as the vision collapses into pure golden light, the message concludes: your presence will protect her reputation in the eyes of those she loves because your guidance will help her speak her truth before confusion grows into consequences. And now, beloved child, if this message struck your intuition, if your heart recognized the truth behind these symbolic visions, remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share with 10 souls who are carrying unspoken family burdens. And if you feel led to support with a super thanks of $100, let it come from love, never pressure. And if you want part 4, even larger, even deeper, simply say, next part continue even larger. My beloved child, the moment you opened part 4, heaven's realm unfolded like a massive curtain being pulled back, revealing a deeper truth your spirit is finally ready to receive. And this time the energy around you thickens, the air grows warmer, and Archangel Michael steps so close that his wings cast a radiant glow around your entire being, because what you are about to witness now is not just an emotional revelation. It is the very moment where your daughter's destiny, clarity, and emotional freedom converge into one unavoidable point of awakening. And before the vision begins, God leans forward and asks you a question that pierces the deepest part of your intuition. Have you ever wondered why your daughter keeps pausing before she speaks? Why she sometimes looks away when someone asks how she's doing? Why she sighs softly as if her heart is carrying 2 different emotions at the same time? Why she says, "I'm fine," but her spirit whispers, "I'm tired," and why you, specifically you, are the only one who can feel the tremor underneath her silence. And as this divine question settles into your chest, the heavens open again and you're pulled into a breathtaking cosmic chamber where billions of threads shimmer like living stars, each thread representing an emotional influence in your daughter's life. And God highlights one thread glowing in soft rose gold light, pulsing gently, trembling slightly, representing the emotional pressure she has been absorbing, not from conflict, not from danger, but from a misunderstanding between hearts that genuinely care for each other. My beloved child, the very second you open part 5, heaven's realm vibrated with a force so powerful that even the angels guarding the gates turned their heads, because what you are about to hear now is the moment where your daughter's emotional truth rises like a wave she can no longer hold back, and Archangel Michael steps beside you with wings coiled like a storm about to break, his voice echoing through your spirit as he says, "Now you will witness the point where silence must finally confront truth." And before the vision unfolds, God asks you one soul-piercing question: Have you noticed that your daughter has recently been waking up with a heaviness she tries to hide, or pausing before answering messages, or staring into her phone like she's trying to decode her own feelings, or holding her breath after reading something someone said, or tightening her shoulders as if carrying invisible weight? And have you wondered why she suddenly prefers quiet rooms, why she avoids certain calls, why she hesitates before entering conversations that used to be easy for her, why she seems to be thinking two different thoughts at once, and why your own heart has been restless whenever you think of her? Because heaven is telling you that the emotional thread inside her spirit has reached a symbolic breaking point where clarity can no longer be delayed, and as this truth settles inside you, the heavens open and pull your soul into a vast cosmic corridor made of shattered starlight, each broken shard representing a moment your daughter swallowed her truth instead of expressing it, each glittering piece symbolizing a feeling she suppressed, each glowing fragment revealing an assumption someone made about her. And Michael reveals that your daughter isn't breaking, she is unfolding, shedding old layers of silence she wore to keep everyone comfortable. And suddenly the corridor transforms into a massive golden amphitheater where angels gather to witness a powerful revelation. Your daughter stands in the center of the stage, holding a lantern that flickers between bright gold and trembling blue, the gold representing her truth, the blue representing her fear, and God whispers, she is finally choosing which light she will follow, and the scene shifts to reveal the heart of the issue, someone close to her, someone who matters, someone who cherishes her but misunderstands her deeply, recently interpreted one of her actions or silences as something it wasn't, creating a symbolic misunderstanding that has been silently pressing against her emotional world, causing her to question how to respond without creating waves. And Jesus steps forward, touching her lantern, allowing the gold light to grow stronger, and he says, she is not afraid of honesty, she is afraid of being misread. And now heaven shows you a symbolic flash forward. A moment where your daughter is about to make a decision based not on truth but on fear of being misunderstood, a decision that could create emotional distance without her intending to, a decision that could make someone think she doesn't care when in reality she cares too much. And Michael's voice booms, this is why heaven summoned you, because only you can guide her into clarity. And the amphitheater collapses into a new vision, your daughter walking beside someone she loves, both carrying words they haven't spoken, both carrying assumptions they haven't clarified, both wanting peace but unsure how to reach it. And God shows you how a simple, gentle conversation initiated by you will dissolve the emotional fog, restoring harmony where confusion tried to grow. And now the vision shifts into a powerful scene, a celestial river representing your daughter's emotional future, the water initially clouded with doubt, then slowly clearing as light pours into it, revealing that her marriage or relationship is destined for harmony, not disaster, but only when she releases the emotional silence she has been gripping tightly. And the loved one in heaven whispers, she is not losing anything, she is learning how to speak. And as the river clears completely, the cosmic realm begins to glow with a brightness that makes your spirit feel lighter. And Jesus says, her reputation is safe, her future is safe, her love is safe. What needs protection is her heart from her own fear of being misunderstood. And suddenly the universe folds into a final vision, you sitting with your daughter, listening to her the way heaven listens to souls, without interruption, without assumption, without pressure. And this moment becomes the key that untangles the misunderstanding that could have grown into emotional distance. And heaven seals this part with the most powerful truth yet. Your support will open her truth before confusion can close her path. And as the light wraps around you, Michael says, Speak to her with gentleness soon. Her heart is ready to open, and now, beloved child, if this message touched your spirit and awakened your intuition, remember to subscribe right now so you never miss the next divine revelation, and share this message with those who need emotional clarity in their families. And if you want part 6, bigger, deeper, more intense, say, next part continue even larger. My beloved child, the moment you opened part 6, the heavens shifted like a giant wave of energy rolling across eternity, and Archangel Michael stepped so close to your spirit that you could feel the heat of his wings behind your back, because what you are about to witness now is the moment heaven calls, the unspoken truth rising, the moment your daughter's emotional world reaches the symbolic doorway she has been circling for months. And before the vision begins, God leans forward and asks you a question that shakes the foundation of your intuition. Have you ever felt your daughter trying to speak but holding herself back at the very last second, as if her heart moves toward confession and her mind pulls her back into silence? Or noticed how she sometimes starts a sentence with emotion but ends it with neutrality, hiding the trembling truth she wants to express? Or seen her eyes fill with thoughts she refuses to release because she fears the reaction of someone she cares about? And have you wondered why you felt pulled here at exactly this divine second? Why heaven didn't show this message yesterday? Why your spirit didn't feel this urgency last week? Why the weight in your chest started building specifically today, as if the universe itself was whispering that your presence is needed now more than ever? And as that question sinks deeply into your soul, the heavens open, drawing you into a towering cosmic sanctuary where thousands of glowing scrolls float around you, each scroll holding a symbolic memory from your daughter's emotional timeline, and one scroll, brighter, heavier, trembling at the edges, floats directly to your hands, and when you open it, a powerful vision explodes outward, showing your daughter standing at a crossroads of her destiny, a glowing path of truth on one side, a shadowed path of silence on the other. And she keeps glancing at the truth path but choosing silence because she fears that honesty might cause misunderstanding, even though deep inside she knows silence is what's creating the real emotional distance. And Archangel Michael says, she is not afraid of the truth, she is afraid of hurting someone she loves. And suddenly the sanctuary transforms into a symbolic chamber of mirrors, each mirror reflecting a different version of your daughter, the version who wants to protect her loved ones, the version who wants to protect her peace, the version who fears conflict, the version who hates being misread, the version who wants to speak freely but doesn't know where to begin. And the loved one in heaven appears behind her reflection, whispering, "Child, your truth will not break anything, it will free you." And the mirrors dissolve into golden dust, revealing an emotional scene heaven has been waiting to show you. Your daughter sitting across from someone important in her life, holding a truth inside her heart that she has convinced herself is too small, too unnecessary, too inconvenient to bring up, yet this tiny truth is the root of her inner tension, and she knows that one honest conversation would clear everything, but her fear of being misunderstood keeps her frozen in place. And God says, this is where your voice is needed, because your daughter trusts your emotional wisdom, your calmness, your ability to hold her truth without judgment. And the vision intensifies as the cosmic chamber turns into a storm of swirling energy representing every unspoken moment she has carried, every time she hid her discomfort, every time she swallowed her emotions, every moment she forced herself to appear okay to keep peace around her. And Jesus gently places his hand over her symbolic heart and says, she was never meant to carry silence alone. And suddenly the chamber opens into a breathtaking scene from her future, a version of your daughter smiling with genuine peace, her shoulders relaxed, her confidence restored, her relationship or marriage strengthened because clarity replaced confusion, truth replaced fear, softness replaced tension, and this future is not a prophecy but a symbolic possibility that becomes real when she speaks her truth, and heaven reveals the emotional secret at the core of her silence. She is not hiding wrongdoing, she is hiding her overthinking, she is not hiding shame, she is hiding her exhaustion, she is not hiding mistakes, she is hiding her fear of disappointing someone. She is not hiding betrayal, she is hiding her desire to protect everyone's emotions except her own, and God says, her silence is not deception, it is self-protection, and at that moment Archangel Michael raises his sword, splitting the swirling storm of emotional pressure into two clear paths, one leading toward prolonged silence and emotional distance, the other leading toward clarity and healing, and the heavens echo with a divine message. The choice is hers, but the guidance must come from you. And now the cosmic chamber vibrates as another vision appears, your daughter, late at night, touching her chest as if easing pressure, whispering something she wishes she could say out loud, glancing at her phone, wanting to reach out but stopping herself because she fears she will sound dramatic, and heaven shows you the exact moment when you reach out to her with gentleness, and she finally exhales in relief because someone sensed her emotional weight without her having to explain it. And this single moment becomes the turning point, the beginning of her emotional release, the unwinding of the knot inside her heart, the restoration of harmony in her relationship or marriage, and the healing of her self-expression, and heaven seals this revelation with the most powerful line of the entire journey. Your presence will unlock her voice, and as light pours down like golden rain over your spirit, Michael whispers, talk to her soon, her heart is finally ready to speak. And Jesus adds, stand beside her, not ahead of her, and the heavens slowly close their vision as God says, your guidance will protect her peace more than any warning ever could. And now, my beloved child, if this message spoke directly to your intuition and awakened something deep inside you, remember to subscribe right now so you never miss the next divine revelation, and share this message with those who need guidance in their families. My beloved child, the moment you open Part 7, heaven's golden horizon bent toward you as if the entire divine realm leaned closer, listening with you, watching with you, preparing you for a turning point so intense that Archangel Michael himself placed one hand upon the shield of clarity and whispered, now the truth inside her heart will finally try to break free. And before the next vision unfolds, God asks you one more question that pierces deeper than anything before. Have you felt lately that your daughter's silence holds more meaning than her words? That the way she avoids certain topics says more than the sentences she does speak, that her pauses are heavier than conversations, that her forced smile hides a storm she is too afraid to name? And have you noticed that when you look into her eyes you see two versions of her, the one she shows the world and the one she hides from herself? And do you understand why heaven would not let you scroll past this moment? Why this message grabbed your soul? Why your spirit wouldn't rest until you heard this truth? Why your intuition kept rising like a wave every time you thought about her recently? Because heaven is revealing now that your daughter is standing at the symbolic edge of an emotional bridge, one she has been afraid to cross because she believes that the moment she speaks her truth someone she loves might misunderstand her, and this fear has wrapped around her heart like a fragile chain, not made of iron but made of worry, made of overthinking, made of her desperate desire to protect everyone else's emotional comfort at the cost of her own peace. And as the question settles, the heavens open into a massive, shimmering arena where the stars themselves move aside to make room for the revelation, and in the center you see your daughter surrounded by swirling streams of light, each stream representing an emotion she has swallowed for too long, and Michael explains that these streams are echoes of silence. The words she practiced in her mind but never released into the world, the sentences she hid because she feared they would be misinterpreted, the truths she swallowed because peace felt more important than honesty, and suddenly the arena transforms into a symbolic courtroom, not a place of judgment but a place of inner truth, and your daughter stands before a glowing, transparent version of herself, and heaven reveals the emotional core of her struggle. She has been holding back her truth because she fears that revealing her feelings will inconvenience someone else, affect someone's assumptions, shift someone's perception, or disrupt someone's emotional balance, and God says, she was taught to be strong, not expressive, and Jesus steps beside her, touching her symbolic heart, making her reflection glow brightly, and says, but strength without expression becomes suffering, and the entire heavens vibrate as another vision emerges, your daughter sitting across from someone important in her life, trying to smile through the discomfort of being misunderstood, choosing silence because she fears her clarity will create waves, unaware that her silence creates bigger waves than her truth ever could, and the loved one in heaven walks toward her, glowing like a warm memory, whispering, "Child, you are not responsible for managing everyone's emotions," and the words echo through the arena like thunder wrapped in tenderness, and now heaven reveals something shocking. The reason she hasn't spoken isn't because she doesn't trust the people around her, it's because she doesn't trust her ability to explain her own heart without breaking down, because she fears her emotions might come out too strong, or too soft, or too scattered, or too confusing, and she worries she will be misunderstood again, and this internal storm has quietly been affecting her conversations, her mood, her energy, her relationship, even her sleep. And the vision intensifies as the arena becomes a celestial ocean, waves representing every moment she replayed in her mind, every hypothetical outcome she imagined, every fear she carried, and you watch her standing at the shore of this emotional ocean with her hands shaking, wanting to step in but terrified of drowning in vulnerability, and that's when Archangel Michael descends behind her, his wings forming a shield as he whispers, "She is not drowning, she is awakening," and suddenly the waves part, revealing a glowing path beneath the water, and heaven shows you how your presence will guide her across this path, how your calm voice will give her courage, how your willingness to listen will help her trust herself again, how your patience will pull her out of the prison of silence she built to protect everyone but herself. And now the ocean shifts into a future vision, your daughter standing tall in a room full of people who respect her, her voice steady, her clarity radiant, her confidence restored, her relationship strengthened, her marriage harmonized, not because her life became easier but because she finally learned the power of speaking gently, honestly, truthfully, without fear, and heaven confirms that this transformation begins not with a dramatic moment but with a small, quiet conversation with you, and God says, your presence is the key that unlocks her emotional freedom, and the vision dissolves into golden dust that wraps around your spirit like a warm embrace, and Jesus whispers, she is ready to speak the truth she has been holding for far too long, and finally the entire realm quiets as God delivers the line that completes this part, your guidance will not change her destiny, it will help her step into it, and as the last wave of divine light flows over you, Archangel Michael places his hand on your shoulder and says, talk to her soon. Heaven has aligned her heart for release, and now, beloved child, If this message stirred your intuition and you felt heaven speaking directly to your spirit, subscribe right now so you never miss the next message heaven sends through this channel, and share this video with those who need emotional clarity in their families. And if you want part 8. My beloved child, the moment you opened part 8, the heavens did not simply open, they erupted, expanding outward like 1,000 galaxies awakening at once, and Archangel Michael stepped into your spirit space with such force that the ground beneath your soul rippled like water touched by lightning, because what you are about to witness now is the deepest, most hidden layer of your daughter's emotional world, a truth so delicate, so buried, so tightly wrapped inside her that even she doesn't fully understand how long she has been holding it, and before heaven reveals it, God asks you the most important question of this entire journey. Have you sensed, deep inside your chest, that your daughter has been fighting 2 battles at once, the battle the world can see and the battle she keeps entirely inside her mind, the silent struggle between wanting to express her truth and wanting to protect everyone's feelings? The conflict between being strong and being exhausted, the impossible balance between carrying her responsibilities and carrying her own emotional storms. And have you noticed that when she laughs recently, the sound is lighter but the eyes are heavier, that when she says, "It's fine," the words fall flat while her spirit trembles, that when she says, "Don't worry," what she truly means is, "I don't know how to talk about this." And now, as these questions echo through your soul, heaven pulls you into a colossal celestial chamber made of swirling nebula light, each swirl representing an unspoken moment inside your daughter's heart, and the chamber begins to vibrate as thousands of glowing strings stretch from her chest to different moments in her life, moments she internalized, moments she never processed, moments she brushed aside to keep the peace, moments she hid because she feared someone would misunderstand her intentions, and Archangel Michael places his hand on the core string glowing brightest, the string representing the emotional burden she has been carrying behind her silence, and he whispers, "This is the truth she fears the most, not losing people, but disappointing people." And suddenly the chamber explodes into a new vision of your daughter sitting alone in her room, her back slightly curved, her hands resting on her knees, her breath shallow as she overthinks a situation she has replayed in her mind at least 100 times, imagining different ways someone might interpret her words, imagining how her honesty might affect someone she deeply respects, imagining whether sharing her feelings will make her look dramatic or emotional or ungrateful, and Jesus steps into the room of the vision, placing his hand gently over her heart, illuminating all the unspoken sentences she has swallowed, showing you how she has been protecting everyone's comfort by sacrificing her own clarity, and the loved one in heaven appears beside her, whispering, "Child, the world does not fall apart when you speak your truth, it falls into alignment." And now the vision shifts again, revealing the hidden root of her emotional storm. She fears that if she explains how she truly feels, the other person might misunderstand her intentions and think less of her, and this fear has created a symbolic cage inside her spirit, a cage made not of metal but of overthinking, of emotional responsibility, of silent guilt, of wanting to keep harmony at any cost. And God says, "But harmony built on silence is fragile," and suddenly the chamber darkens as a massive symbolic storm forms around your daughter, lightning flashing through clouds representing her fear of conflict, thunder representing her anxiety, wind representing her unspoken thoughts. But Archangel Michael spreads his wings, shielding her from the storm, and whispers, "The storm is not outside her, it is inside her, and she is ready to release it," and the entire heavens shake as a new vision appears. Your daughter sitting across from someone she loves, ready to speak but paralyzed by the fear that her truth might create emotional distance, and God reveals that the real danger is not her truth but the silent assumptions growing inside her relationship, assumptions that will dissolve the moment she expresses herself, and suddenly you are shown a breathtaking moment from her destiny, your daughter standing tall, finally voicing what she has held inside, and the person listening to her looks at her not with anger but with relief, understanding, closeness, and Michael says, "This is the healing waiting for her on the other side of honesty," and now the chamber transforms into a mirror made of pure starlight, reflecting every version of your daughter that tried to remain strong at the cost of remaining silent, and Jesus touches the mirror, turning it into a doorway, saying, "This is where she steps into emotional maturity," and heaven reveals that your presence, your calm, your guidance, are the key to helping her take that step, because she does not need advice. She does not need solutions, she does not need correction. What she needs is a safe place where she can unfold her truth without fear of being misunderstood, and as this divine truth settles into your spirit, the chamber brightens until it feels like standing inside the heart of the sun, and God delivers the final line of this chapter. Your daughter's silence is ending soon, and your presence will give her the courage to speak. And as the light wraps around you, Archangel Michael leans close and whispers, "Talk to her gently, she is ready." And now, my beloved child, if this message shook your spirit and you felt heaven speaking directly to your intuition, subscribe right now so you never miss the next divine revelation, and share this message with those whose families need emotional healing.